Welcome to Business Reporter's Best of British Business campaign. I'm Georgie Frost. Boardrooms and their legal teams want a sense of certainty to underpin their business. That means clear regulations, a safe and robust global network of collaborating nations and organisations, and a predictable socio-economic environment. In such a perfect storm, how can legal teams protect their clients' interests and their own? To find out more, we're talking to Ben Maguire, Partner and Managing Director of Solutions, a division of Simmons & Simmons, a law firm with 126 years of experience. Ben, welcome to Business Reporter's Best of British Business campaign. We speak about uncertainty at the start there, but to my mind, uncertainty's been forever with us in the legal and business environment. What's different now? Why is it so unmanageable in the current environment?
Well, I think that's absolutely true. I mean, from my perspective, from what our clients are looking at, I think that from the legal team's perspectives in those clients, I think what we're looking at is a much greater focus and a laser focus on regulation and on compliance and the business risk environment. So, for example, post-financial crash, we've seen a significant increase in how important the GC's role is in terms of not just the legal elements of how a business is conducted, but also in terms of the ethical and moral sort of standards of a company and where it operates. So there's a much broader set of areas which legal teams are now responsible for overseeing and advising their board on and their CEOs and so on. And I think that's sort of added to the already significant waves of regulation that have come behind such disasters as a financial crash.
Well, exactly. You name the financial crash, and of course we can understand why regulation was brought in for that. But why else has the environment or the landscape become, can I call it a bit messy?
Well, I don't know if it's messy. It's certainly crowded.
Crowded,
yes.
A better word, crowded then.
And it's crowded, I think, because we just expect, and quite rightly as a society, that firms like mine and the businesses that we support, the clients we support, take responsibility for their actions and for the stakeholders that they are going to affect. And I would say that most of, if not all, of the people that I work with fully support that. But that does mean that we have a much broader set of variables that we need to look at.
But I guess the point of having regulation is it's the rules to follow, directions to follow, which should in theory be easier for companies, apart from perhaps being a bit time consuming. Is that not the case?
Yeah, I think, I'm sure I shouldn't stray into political sentiment here. So where regulation good, regulation bad isn't really sort of the issue that we typically deal with. But what we do deal with is the fact that despite the fact that quite often it brings some really welcome certainty for companies and the clients that we support about how they need to operate and what they need to do, what always follows is a significant program of transformation.
Can you give us an example of how a turbulent environment is challenging, perhaps, to an organisation?
So I think there is you could simplify it into sort of two elements. So there are the sort of spikes, so financial crash, pandemic, Brexit, Ukraine, but there's also really the continuous flow of regulation that flows out of those subsequently. So there's always been, it's not really an undercurrent. I mean, it's the day-to-day focus of a legal or compliance team is implementing the changes that they need to do on the back of something that's been introduced for very good reasons in, whether it was in the EU pre-Brexit, whether it's through UK legislation or direction. So for the spikes, I mean, those are things you need to be quick to. And if you think about Brexit, for example, for a lot of our clients, that was, where are we going to operate if London isn't the best place for us to be headquartered anymore, or for us to have certain products and services based as a result of the UK leaving the EU. And that's a massive organisational challenge. It goes well beyond legal and compliance. But from our perspective, as a law firm, we do have a lot of experience and knowledge about how to operate in Germany, how to operate in France, and how to operate in other jurisdictions. And that's where we can help our clients prepare to move to those places or to change their operations so that they comply in that area, the sort of broader spectrum. And then in terms of the sort of ongoing day-to-day work, we mustn't forget that, you know, these businesses are selling products, they are conducting various services for their clients, and all of those typically will be underpinned by some sort of legal documentation which needs to be prepared, reviewed and delivered. So it's a very, very busy environment. Anyway, and when you have a Brexit or a pandemic or a geopolitical shock like the invasion of Ukraine, then that just adds further pressure to the legal team at those clients.
Say I'm a client, I come to you, how would you build a bespoke solution for me?
One of the things law firms really have to get right is they have to shift, and they are doing so, and certainly Simmons is, have to shift away from just the provision of legal expertise to focusing on the business problems that clients are going to be facing based on that environment. Nowadays, we take a much more multidisciplinary view of how we're going to deliver our services. So we start with what is the actual business problem? What's the problem you need to solve? What are the legal aspects of that business problem? How can we help you beyond advice or beyond support to a transaction deliver something straight to your board or to a business unit inside your company that allows them to solve that problem and move forward. So that's the key principle. Generally, the way we work with our clients now is that we will, rather than just receiving an email, working on it and, you know, sending something back in the traditional sort of way, we work with our clients through a discovery phase to really understand what the problem is, prototype and test that service to support them, and then launch it, and then continually work with them to deliver that service hand in glove with them as clients over time.
Should every law firm have a division like yours?
What I know is that you know, our clients are really, really interested in what Solutions has to offer alongside the deep legal expertise that 126 years of experience gives you. And as a result, we are, you know, winning a lot of work we wouldn't normally have won. We're more competitive, but more importantly, we're just getting closer to what the real issue to be solved is and changing ourselves to be more effective in support of those clients.
I think you might agree that law firms, lawyers, perhaps not known for their dynamism, you know, flexibility, being able to respond quickly to certain things, maybe. And 126 years of experience at Simmons & Simmons, yet you're doing it.
It is a misconception, but widely held, that lawyers are somehow traditional and not particularly entrepreneurial. I'd argue the opposite is true. I've never met, you know, as many entrepreneurial people as I have law firm partners in Simmons & Simmons. And, you know, Solutions has been completely embraced as a concept by the whole partnership. You know, we're a fifth practice group, we're firmly established, we're being invested in, and it's my job to grow that business. And it's certainly true that our clients are extremely well informed and interested in the capabilities that we bring collectively as Simmons & Simmons with Solutions and the legal expertise that we're deploying. And that's borne out by the fact that, you know, they want to work with us and they're giving us the chance to really demonstrate how we can do things in a new and more effective way.
Who are some of the experts around Solutions?
So it's a really broad array. It's always quite a long list to get through, and I'm always terrified that I'll forget somebody. But
like an Oscar speech. It's
yes,
all right.
exactly.
Thank them afterwards.
But you know, we combine data scientists and legal engineers, designers and creatives, project managers, resourcing advisors and recruiters, product developers and product managers, and specialists in the application of technology to litigation and arbitration, which is called e-discovery. So there's just really a huge array of professions in Solutions, and combining those into multidisciplinary teams with that legal expertise is really what gives the whole environment the power that we need.
So that's the people. What about the technology, the 21st century technology that you talked about? Tell me a bit more about that.
What we're really talking about is people with the skill to use the technology that already exists in, you know, whether it's in a software development environment or in, you know, your standard corporate software and collaboration platforms, to build services in those environments such that we can deliver services in such a different way.
Are there some general themes, some general business problems that you're seeing a lot of clients coming to you with at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, for legal teams specifically, they are dealing with a much broader range of responsibilities, I think, than they were 5-10 years ago, back before the financial crash even, such that they're not just responsible for the day-to-day management of the legal aspect of selling a product or advising on an employment issue. I think we're seeing a broadening into the ethical and moral areas of how businesses need to take responsibility for the effect they're having on the world. And what is certainly true is they're not necessarily getting a lot more people to do that or a lot more resource to do that. And so there's a real space there for law firms working as partners with those clients to help them deal with those issues. And as far as we're concerned, the application of the solutions, technologies and capabilities means that we can help people find ways to do more with the same or more with less, even in some cases, be efficient and support their businesses effectively.
Could you outline the main problem then for your clients?
Our clients are faced with a formidable array of challenges that are engendered by increasing regulation, some of the geopolitical issues that we've been talking about, and that frankly they just don't have the bandwidth or the resources that they need in order to make sure their businesses are managing the risk and complying with regulation that they need. We want them to come to us because we can provide the bandwidth they need, not necessarily just by traditional methods of producing legal advice.
What is the solution then that you offer?
Well, I think what we offer, because we take these multidisciplinary professionals, combine them with legal experts, is we can develop services which significantly decrease the load on our clients, allow them to deliver services in a cost-efficient, value-for-money way, faster and more accurately, and to deal with this, barrage of change and difficulty that they're facing at the moment.
Ben, I think if there's one thing that we can be certain of, that this uncertainty will continue for some time. So with that in mind, it seems a strange question to ask, but I want to get your views of where you see the landscape in the next 3 to 5 years, because I imagine that's what clients ask you.
What's much more important is that we, as law firms, help our clients and ourselves be in a position to react to the things we're not expecting, so the Brexits, the pandemics, and other geopolitical issues that we're going to just see continually, but also have our eyes on the horizon. So scanning and making sure that people have an understanding of what might be coming down the track at them, particularly when it comes to regulatory change and law, but also the application of technology and what might be possible, such that we are able to rapidly adapt to those things as they come into focus, as they come closer to us in the shorter term. So we do a lot of horizon scanning. We try and tell our clients, these are the things that might happen, and these are the things that are probable, these are the things that are happening now, and this is the implication for you. So it's not just keeping them informed, it's saying this is what you need to do, if anything, right now in order to react to this.
That was Ben Maguire from Solutions, a division of Simmons & Simmons, the law firm.